There we can see the view camera on Randy Mamola's machine as the lights change to green. Mamola starts to push his bike into line. He's made a good start. You can see the pits disappear, and Mamola must be leading the charge.
You know, it was definitely something that came about without me even knowing. People were working on building a onboard camera. It would be the first of its kind to ever be shot on any motorsport. When you look at this, some people would say, where'd that come from, the moon? This is what I carried on board. We'd never seen anything like that. What a rider sees, what a rider feels. And you know, that was groundbreaking.
So I believe it's 30 years ago, he was the first ever 500 class MotoGP racer to carry an onboard camera. Now, I'm actually the first ever to carry a VR, virtual reality GoPro camera. I think the history, my dad being the first one back then and me now, is special.
When you go back into 1985, the technology of racing wasn't as what it is today in 2016. And when you can imagine two cameras sitting there to be able to capture everything, up, top, bottom, side view, and so on.
Father and son relationship is not what everyone thinks. You know, it's a lot harder on me just because people expect a lot. My dad, you know, who he was back in the day, people do think it's easier in a way because of who he is. He could be a lot harder on me just because he wants me to do well.
You know, it's always kind of hard to be a father of a racer. I know he's capable of doing things, but errors are always on the horizon because everything's so new.
There's always that conflict of me and him being my dad, and father and son moments of you're right and I don't want him to be right, but I know he's right.
Go out and do the best that you can do, and the rest of it is me still learning to be that race father, to stay calm.
Even though it's hard to admit it, it's good to have him there.
There are people that belong in sport, and there's some people that you kind of say, maybe doesn't. Dakota belongs in this sport.
You know, racing's always up and downs. You gotta be so relaxed. I feel like if you're more nervous or more tense, you won't go fast. You need to be 100% mentally prepared for that.
So, just go out there and have fun.
Beautiful sky in Salt Lake City. We just passed it right here, right alongside of us. Another one on the outside. Come on, Dakota, hang in there. Hang in there. Perfect.
Look what I got on my computer. Randy, we need to do something about my bike.
The last 2 nights I was riding with you the whole time with that camera. Visual goggles.
That means you know where I made my mistakes. Can't lie to you.
But listen, you rode really well. I was on the back of your bike, completely turned around and watching the guys coming at me.
After me.
Dude, it was gnarly. So last night for me, it was quite funny.
All right, Pops.
All right?
See you next week.
Good job, and I'll speak to you soon, buddy.
All right.
Cheers.
To see my dad on the other side of Skype, it was really emotional. Me being 3,000 miles away from him, you know, and he can see the actual race happening. It's amazing how somebody so far away can actually see live on the bike everything.
When your son or daughter, your kids grow up and you first let them out to go on their own to their first parties or their first things, you've got to let them go. You've got to let them be themselves, their own entity. And that's what Dakota's doing now. Heck, who needs that when you got technology like this?